Hi friends, so happy to be here with all of you today. In this video, we're gonna talk about breaking through the matrix, and of course the title was taken from the movie The Matrix. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you have all watched that movie. It's so good, and the symbols and the subtleties of it to wake us up into what's actually real is just epic. I love learning through movies, through characters, because what better way besides humor to expand our consciousness and think a bit outside the box of what else is possible into our lives to enhance our joy, our happiness, our bliss, or even to take ourselves out of anxiety and depression and these emotions that we didn't came here to be depressed and sad and all contracted. We came here to expand and to feel joy and to be in love with life. So that's why we're here. So I'm going to tell you 3 things or 3 concepts, ideas, plays that you can use and try on to break through the matrix and live a life of more joy, fulfillment, and contentment. Number 1 is using this question: what lifts me up today? If we want to start living in the frequency of love and abundance and infinite possibilities, we need to stop thinking that we need to play our day the same way it happened yesterday. Just because yesterday I woke up and I made coffee and I called my mom and I made breakfast and then I took the car and I went to work, it doesn't mean that tomorrow I need to do the same thing. Of course, I understand that those of you that have jobs, it's something that, okay, I do have a commitment and responsibility with my quote-unquote boss, but he's a projection of your consciousness. So if you choose, you can end up that and create a whole new different scene, which you don't have to have an strict schedule and you can live your passion. But you have to go through that subtlety of fear, like what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to support myself. Because in this frequency and timeline of new earth and infinite abundance, we're all supported by our passions. It's just a matter of trust, deep faith, and feeling comfortable with the unknown. And that's why the question, what leads me up today, it's so powerful. Because even if you don't feel comfortable enough to say like, fuck it, I'm going to quit my job, you can start feeling even more comfortable with the idea that you can be supported by what you love to do. Just by asking, what is my highest passion? What do I want to do right now? Even if it's after 5, you got off work and then you're like, okay, I have all this time. What's exciting? You don't have to go and hang out with the same friends you used to hang out yesterday. You don't need to go and have the drink that you used to have every day at 5:30 p.m. You don't need to clean the house how you used to clean it at 5:30 p.m. As an example, you can be like, do I feel like dancing? Do I feel like writing? Do I feel like painting? And any idea that gives you that spark of, oh, yes, this feels exciting, this feels blissful, that's it. For those of you that don't have a schedule and you're already your own boss, you're an entrepreneur, or I don't know, you have this huge inheritance and you live in a constant sabbatical because you're so blessed. So you have that time, but you're like, what do I do to fulfill my time? And you're still like, I don't feel fulfilled. Then this question is going to help you break through any societal programs or conditionings or anything that has told you before that you need to follow a set of rules that were imprinted to your consciousness through your parents, through their grandparents, through their parents and parents and parents, and just is this huge line of ancestral karma that we are here to break. So that line, what leads me up today? Not what daddy told me to do, not what mommy told me to do, not what my past self from a month ago thought it was his or her highest excitement, but right now, what leads me up? And sometimes the answer is as simple as, I just want to go for a walk. Or I just want to lay in bed for a bit. And then an idea pops up and you're like, I think what I want to do is watch this TV show from the 90s that I used to love. And then you watch that TV show and then it's like, what leads me up is to do a painting about like the main character of this show. And then what leads me up? And then every second you're just in that frequency, because anything that you want to achieve, allow, or conquer in this life is because you believe, or we believe, that it's gonna brings us into that level of completion, joy, satisfaction, when the trick and the sweet spot is to live in that frequency of love, of joy, of fulfillment, contentment right now, and then everything else in our reality is going to match up that frequency. So the only thing we need to do is to ask, what leads me up right now? Okay, Number two, we start living in a space of foreverness and we ask questions like, is it today Wednesday? That's true. Forgot that part. So when we are always in that frequency of what leads me up, we forget what time is it, what day is today, what a world or universe we live in, because you are creating your own universe. I don't know if you have seen this movie Vanilla Sky, but if you haven't, with Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz, it's so good. And it shows you the subtleties of you are living out of a projection of your consciousness. So your reality is just a dream that you're dreaming. So if you believe that you have to follow a structure and a schedule to survive, then that's the reality you're going to live. But if you believe that you can live in a world of magic and synchronicities and abundance and living in your passion and be supported just because you exist, that's the dream you're going to have. Every one of us is dreaming their own dreams in this physical quote-unquote reality, which is holographic. That's the reality of it. It's just a hologram. So you can program your hologram however the fuck you like. So you start forgetting what day it is, and that's wonderful. Sometimes I'm like, is it Friday? Is it Saturday? I don't know. I have no idea, because I forget and I just keep doing what excites me every moment. And then the structures and the relative things that have to happen for quote unquote responsibilities, just they take care of themselves. You just have a thought like, oh, I have to eat right now, or I have to have water because I need to nourish my body, or I have to pay my rent, or I have to pay taxes. Like all these matrix quote unquote things that we have to do right now because the system is this way, because we have created it this way. We can change it. If we shift the system, we can create our own system, our own governments, if the whole collective consciousness aspires for that. And that's what we're doing. So while we're going through this transition, all those things take care of themselves. It's like a subtle voice whispers into your ear, oh, remember you have to do that. So you don't have to worry about it. When we let go of control, we allow the field to create itself for us. So we actually don't survive or thrive because of our egos. We survive and thrive despite of our egos. What gives life force, power, and energy and brings us all abundance into our lives is our spirit. So when we get out of our ways, thinking that things have to go a certain way and we allow the field to create for us, that's when magic happens. Okay, number two, you are free will. The first three distortions of human race, say by the law of one, Ra, it's love, light, and free will. So we're made of light, everything, the computer, the phone, us, we're made of light. Everything we say, do, move, wear, it's made of love, because love is light in motion, and we have free will. So we have infinite possibilities, infinite choices to play out this dream as we please. And that ties to the first expression. We can do whatever we want. We just have to choose. The only reason we believe we cannot do whatever we want is unconscious guilt. And I cannot exert this enough, and that's the power of forgiveness. The only way you can actually be the master programmer of your creation and break through the quote-unquote matrix is to liberate yourself from unconscious guilt. Because the only reason you don't choose a higher timeline is because you believe, or we believe, we don't deserve it. If I believe I don't deserve it, then, you know what? I'm going to choose. I have 5 choices. I'm going to stay in bed. I'm going to keep going to the job I'm going. I'm going to keep the relationship I'm in because it doesn't satisfy me, but I think I'm not going to find any better, so I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay with the same circle of friends, even though I feel I don't relate to them anymore and I want to expand my mind. And 5, you know what? I'm going to say fuck it and I'm going to live my dreams because I deserve it. The only reason you didn't choose the 5th option, which is the most exciting option, is because we believe that we don't deserve it. So then we choose and we settle for option number 2. Because it's like, you know what? It's comfy. It's free of risk. I don't have to face my fears. I don't have to face my karma, which is belief in action, aka fears. And fear is just illusion. It doesn't exist. So you need to become aware of what is it that I'm holding on to myself. What is the belief that is not letting me choose my highest timeline? So when we forgive ourselves from any misperceptions that we may have had in the past, for any fights, for anything that we could have possibly done or not do to another version of ourselves, another person, then we liberate ourselves from this unconscious guilt and we can choose our highest timeline because we truly believe we deserve it. We can fill ourselves with affirmations, but if we don't forgive ourselves and forgive everybody else that have done something to us, but that's not true, because in the ultimate level, we're responsible for every single situation that has happened to us in our lifetimes. It didn't happen to us. We chose it and we place it there. So when we forgive, we are the masters of our matrix, and then we can dream a heaven instead of a nightmare, a heaven instead of a drama, a romantic comedy, if that's your preference, of your lifestyle and your choices and your friendships and your romances and your job and your career and your passion, everything. A state of consciousness, expression, freedom, liberation, all of that juicy, delicious bliss can be yours if you believe you deserve it. But first, forgiveness. It's crazy how the root of everything is. If we forgive, we have it all. We have access to every single reality and timeline. So right now, you are choosing to invest your energy into watching this video, but you have a million choices per second. You could have chosen to call a friend again. You could have chosen to go for a walk. You could have chosen to start your new business. You could have chosen to stay in bed all day. You have a million choices per second, and every single choice affects the next choice and give momentum to the next thought form that's going to animate your character into choosing something for your life. So that's why for manifestation, which is just potential becoming an actuality, we need to align our thoughts, our deeds, and our intentions. And how we intensify our deeds and our thoughts whenever a new intention comes up, and we keep ourselves in that same frequency. Let's say that we choose the next scene or slide of our lives to start our new business. But then we do that. And then in the next slide, after taking the first action may be quitting your job. The second slide is panicking. Then your vibration, your emotions, when you panic, you slow down your manifestation because it's not aligned. So you're having mixed frequencies, and the reality that you're seeing is a mix-up reality. And then you don't understand, like, why is my reality so weird? It's because there are mixed frequencies. And that's the value of exploring our thought forms through inquiry and realizing, what is it that I'm believing about myself that is not helping me align all my thoughts in my one intention? So again, with the example of starting your business, you quit your job, you choose to start your business, you start working on it, you start being excited, and then you keep your intentions. Oh, I'm going to create this because I love doing this, and I trust that the universe will support me. Then your action is taking action in creating the new business, and then your emotions, thoughts, you do it. Emotions is you feel happy and fulfilled and grateful that it's already happening for you. And then the manifestation happens. And this with everything, with creating a new relationship, a new state of being, with anything in your life, changing your lifestyle situation, moving to a new country. Everything has to be in alignment. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your deeds. I used to call this TED, just like the movie, Ted the Bear. Thoughts, emotions, and deeds. Make sure that all of those are in alignment so you can exert your free will and create the reality of your preference. Because you should enjoy being here. And why not go for your dreams every second for the highest possibility of your joy? Because we're here to evolve in consciousness. And whatever we don't allow and quote unquote achieve in this lifetime, we come here to repeat in the next one. So we may as well try to go for our highest passion and get it all here or in the next lifetime. Because there is no way back. We just keep going up and up and up in the ladder of consciousness. And at the end, it's all symbols, because what we want to feel again is a feeling of joy, of bliss, of peace. Okay. Whenever you do something out of obligation, you are giving your power away into a program of guilt. Exactly. So we don't owe anyone anything. Whenever you believe that you have to do something because you owe someone something, you are. My battery was about to die. Whenever you're doing something out of, oh, I believe I owe this person something, then you are acting through a program of guilt and you're giving your power away. So every time you're going to take an action to align your thoughts and your intentions and your emotions, ask yourself, where am I coming from? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I believe I have to? Because I believe I owe this to this person, to your mom, to your boss, to your friend, to your partner, to your lover, anyone? Or I'm doing this because it's my highest excitement. So we get to see how authentic we are in every single decision. And all of our decisions are going to be in alignment for our highest timeline. So never do something out of guilt because you're disempowering yourself. You're leaking your precious life force energy, and then you are reinforcing your karma with yourself, with that person, with that reflection, and your reality will be reflecting back to you that same feeling of numbness or like neutrality, or like, you know what, I'm comfortable. But we're not here to be comfortable. We're here to be thrilled, to be excited, to be in love, and to be grateful for everything around us. So you don't owe anyone anything. Remember that. Not even your parents. Everything you want to do it out of your, oh, I feel loving doing this. I feel like I'm excited to do this. Oh, this is channeling through me. This is leaking out of me. Because my cup is so full that it run it over. And I want to give. But if you don't feel like that, don't do it. Nourish yourself. Put yourself first. Because everybody else is just a reflection of that self. And the more nourished you are, the more you can give from that space of, I choose to. It's a choice. You have free will. Take back your free will. Own your free will. And then give that away to anyone. Why would you do that? You're too smart. Okay. And number 3 of breaking through the matrix, integrating lost aspects of self. And this one is so tricky, because sometimes we're like, okay, I'm doing everything to create the reality of my preference. Following my excitement, what leads me up right now, and in the next moment, I'm aligning my thoughts, my emotions, my intentions. I'm forgiving myself, I'm forgiving others, I'm acting out of free will, out of love. But why still I feel like I don't see or I don't feel how I want to feel? Because in this process of allowing higher states of consciousness and high frequencies of joy and deliciousness and bliss, we're gonna be faced with the opposite. So we're trying to live in unconditional love. Every thought you have from the past or past lifetimes or situations that was not aligned with love may come up. So it's like a test. It's like higher self is telling you, are you sure you want to go for this timeline? Are you sure you want to go for your passion? Are you sure you want to liberate yourself? And then the thought forms of, oh my God, when I was 5, I was quote unquote traumatized, because there's no such thing. You chose that experience. There's no victims here. We're all responsible for what we have created up to this point in our lives and what we'll keep creating. So if that comes up and then you feel anger, sadness, hate, all the emotions, that's completely okay. We're integrating. That's the power of integration. You have this higher aspect of self that knows your highest timeline, knows all the wisdom, has all the love, all the willingness. It's humble, it's willing to learn and to surrender. And there is this aspect that is the small self that needs to catch up until the higher self integrates with the small self, and then it's a wholeness. But it's a process, and it can happen right away. But in my relative path of awakening, it has been like that, integrating the higher self with the small self. So when that happens, it's okay. Whatever frequency that is mixed, that comes up, needs to be accepted and loved. It's like the small self becomes like this pet, this puppet, this toy, and you're like, oh, okay, baby, or okay, little one, I love you, I accept you, I'm grateful for you, we hear you. It's like you give space, you become the mother or the father, and you allow the little self to come up. And if the little self wants to cry, wants to scream, wants to make a tantrum by yourself, with yourself, not projecting it onto others, you allow it. You can write down what this little self needs to tell me, and then you integrate that. So it's part of you. But the one that's driving and taking the wheel of your life is not the little self. It's you with upper Y. It's higher self. It's the mother. It's the father. It's the spirit. So it becomes like a wholeness in this wheel. It's like a wheel of an amusement park. And those wheels that go round and round. And then the little self is in one of the carriages, but you're in the middle. You're the center. You're the mother. You're the father. You're the spirit. And you have power of your vessel. But you allow any mixed frequencies to come up to be purified, to see them. And it comes like in front of you. It's not you. And you see it and you're like, interesting. This is what I'm integrating. This is what I need to see and transmute in order for me to live in that high timeline. Because every higher choice that you're going to take, may it be quit your job, change your relationship, move to a new country, aspire for a non-dual state of consciousness, everything that's not aligned with that may come up. And you got to be certain and confident and humble to face it and know it's not you. It's a part of you, but it's not the whole of you. And that's what needs to be transmuted to reach higher and higher levels of consciousness and states of being that include love and joy and abundance. So this is crucial for our lead-up efforts to not be deemed by self-sabotage. So the only way not to get into this wheel of self-sabotage every time we go for a higher frequency is to see this aspect and own it. So that's for today, friends. What lifts you up? You have free will, because you are free will, and make sure to integrate your little self along the way. So your reality, your dream, becomes heaven on earth. And we can evolve in consciousness with the precious time that we have in this lifetime, because we're here to have the most beneficial lifetime. Thank you for watching. The next video is going to be why thought forms crystallize and how to deal with the bodily sensations in these periods of integration and awakening. And the next video after that one, it's going to be programming your reality, I believe. Become the master programmer. I'll be so excited to have you there. Let me know in the comments if you resonate, if you don't resonate, what do you love about this, what do you don't love about this. Have you had the same experiences in your awakening? And if you feel called, my friend, to have a session with me to talk about any situation, thought form, trauma, perceive, interaction, person you need to forgive, anything that will help you to go through this process and everything I have shared, you can do so by clicking one-on-one shifting or the portal, I believe, in the link in the description. And I'll be so thrilled and excited to talk to you and connect. So I'll see you in the next one. Much, much love.